I'm concerned, well, fortunately, I don't know. I've not seen any insults directed at me. Yeah, but any insult directed at anyone is the same as one directed at me. When I grew up in the struggle, we said an injury to one is an injury to all. Yeah. So our position is very clear. It's in the Constitution. It's not even what we're articulating here is in the Constitution of the MK party. Now, and that Constitution says you will not be attacking other political formations, even under provocation. So, in fact, the more you provoke us, the more quiet we're going to be. That's going to be the order of the day. The judge is not us. The judge is the people of South Africa. When the people of South Africa go to the polls, they will decide whether they want to deal with those who are insulting or those who are insulted, as it were. Yeah. And that position, by the way, is not a position that is taken out of cowardice. Must make that very clear. It's not a position that is taken out of cowardice. It is a position that is taken out of political maturity. For 400 years, our people were defeated because they were divided. The enemy, since they arrived here in 1652, knew that the way to deal with the people of this country is to divide them. And for the past 400 years, that they've been doing that in various forms, either by fighting us in so-called tribal formations, up to more recently when they formed homelands, and the so-called black-on-black violence that I spoke about of the 80s. All those were forms of dividing our people to ensure our perpetual oppression. So we're not going to do that. It's hashtag Andizi, or MK says hashtag Andizi, to repeating the same mistakes of the past centuries. And as I say, those of us who witnessed some of these things, can remember right here where we are, where people were being butchered and killed. There are children, if you walk around here, who have no parents because of that. So we're not going to, we're not available for insults. We're available to be insulted, but not to dish out insults. All right. Now, I think I've covered you, Lubana. Oh, the JSC. Yes. Yeah. No, there's no issue on the JSC. Again, I think the National High Command will pronounce itself on this question around when the court cases are taking place. But as far as I know, the last statement was that the person, if the issue is reopened, I think the organization will probably field the same candidate that they fielded before. The case yesterday? Yeah. No, of course. I mean, the position of MK on the Pala issue is very well known. You can find that directly from the statement that was issued by former President Zuma on the 16th of December 2023 at the launching of the party. That one of the issues he raised was the discrepancy in the treatment of that case as compared to other cases. So to that extent, we are hoping, but you never know. You are asking me to speculate on the outcome. Well, in this country, I think if you speculate about court outcomes, you can lose a lot of money. What about the smaller parties?
Yeah, there's still prospects of...
Oh yes, the so-called merger. No, you know what? I don't want to use this platform now for this. Maybe I can talk to you some other time, because that's something directed at me. This nonsense that I said that parties must collapse into MK is a lie. It did not happen. It's just something that never happened. Yeah. But as I say, we'll deal with, it's fine. It's once again, it's one of these issues where we don't need to respond, but we'll respond in due course. Unity and merging are two different things. The mere fact that we're saying we want to unify parties means that people are free to stay in their parties. If you want to stay in the PAC message resonates better with you, that's fine. If it's AZAPO, if it's the ANC, whoever who can be regarded as a progressive party. And that's why we talk about a unified platform. And that's why I made the example, for example, in the continent now you can see that trend is happening. In Botswana, there was a grouping of parties that won the elections. In Mauritius, the same thing has happened. In other parts of the continent, that approach is being taken. And here, even without there being a formal arrangement, the so-called ruling party was ousted from its position. So that's the context in which we talk about unity. It's not an instant coffee that you're just going to do it and tomorrow you have unity. If in the end we all merge under one organization in 10 or 20 years or 30 years time or whatever, so be it. But we are not going to be party to dividing our people.
I'll take the last hands if they're still.
To give a few apologies, one of them from the convener of our National High Command deployees, by the way, is Commander Cindy Ting. She unfortunately, and she had confirmed that she was going to be here. So she would have been the one who's answering most of these questions. Yeah. But be that as it may, that's just about today. The question you are asking is more broadly about principle. Yeah. Look, the MK has pronounced itself on this as far as at a policy level. If you look at our constitution, you'll see that it says, bearing in mind the realities of the patriarchal society where we come from, where political leaders really, in almost all the parties, are male-dominated. But that's something that needs to be actively countered against. So our constitution says that we are going to strive to have 40% of male representation in our structures. And it also says that there is an effort to make sure that within 5 years, I can't remember the clause, within 5 years that number should go up to 50%. So that's at the policy level, as you are asking here. So that's something that is going to be attended to very actively. There's no political party that can prosper or address the inequalities in this country without addressing gender inequality. That's what we mean by total liberation. Total liberation means every sphere, whether it's about youth, women, whether it's about people with disabilities, total liberation as in total. And we can never have total liberation without liberating women. And that is why even in the infancy of this organization, the Women's League has already is being established in true earnest. So thank you for that question. And